あとのことは任せたよ。
いやいやいや、完全に死んでたよね。あれ絶対にもう死ぬやつじゃん。最後のやつじゃん。
I love how he kind of breaks the fourth wall here, pointing out that normally that would be his end.
魔法
13年分ほどかな。ある魔道具に時を溜め込んでてね。
Some people might call this an ex machina or something. I personally see it as quite logical given his magical abilities. It makes sense to me, and above all, as you know, I love his character, so I'm just straight up happy.
その間、君を遊ばせておく気はないよ。
それ甘すぎるんじゃねえのか、旦那。
Just an all-round lovely scene showcasing how kind, considerate, and most of all wise Julius is as he explains his reasoning without ever making it sound as though he's simply being nice and giving him a free pass. Also credit where it's due for them keeping evidence of his wounds on his knees, chest and shoulders from their prior battles. Many anime simply erase damage from scene to scene. As much as I adore it, a big name for this was JoJo. Still love it though. Also, this is your reminder to hit that subscribe button and backhand the bell icon to ensure you don't miss more Black Clover and everything else. Again, you guys are brilliant at leaving a like and a comment, and for the first time ever, I want to make a target. So how about 2,000 comments, which has been achieved once on part 5, and 7,500 likes, again only beaten once before on part 5. Nothing else has come close. So yeah, I've issued the challenge just once, and let's see how we do, and more importantly, how the video does.
さて、みんな本当によく頑張ったね。戦いも終結。
I love the women in this anime. Can't say much else. I mean, look at Nero over there. So many waifus, so little time.
魔法帝がいなくなってしまった。
ここにいるじゃねえか。あんただよ、あんた。
Their collective reactions.
グリモワールもこんなだし、戦うことはもちろん、この国の富と権力を独占する国王絶対主義派への影響力も弱まってしまったと言っていいだろうね。
Bringing back Julius, and not simply having it be for the sake of purely bringing him back, instead wrapping it around the pre-existing storyline of the power balance in this world in terms of magic and the nobility and such. I swear doing that is so incredibly clever, as I feel most would have simply brought back their popular character and moved on.
王子、私たちの魔道具は長い時を経てあなたの思いを引き継ぐ者の命を救いました。
Having it be the first Wizard King's creation and Sekurai's magic, which enabled him to come back alive and be saved. What poetic justice when you consider how similar their peaceful stances are so many years apart.
何しても生きててよかったです魔法帝。そして見かけない顔の君は一体何魔法だい
This set up for the next likely big arc of the story, once again coming back to exploring their aggressive neighbours, and now the mystery surrounding Asta coming back into place too.
悪魔って怖きも縁が長。
呼び団長、言葉は時に簡単に人を傷つけますよ。
That! So glad to be back writing this. It's been a little while, but I gotta get so much other stuff done. I even covered all of season 9 and 10 of The Walking Dead with an Everything Wrong With series on my third channel. It was fun, but insanely time consuming. But at least that's now done till season 11 airs later this year. But anyway, regardless, I'm glad to be back, and ideally after stepping away to do My Hero Academia season 5, ReZero season 2 second half, and Dr. Stone season 2, I hope to be back doing part 10 of Black Clover, and then just 2 more parts to go. Whilst I don't yet fully understand everything, I'm all the same super intrigued by this new notion of another world or dimension inhabited by devils with insane power. Perhaps even more intriguing is the prospect that others have had run-ins in one form or another with devils, such as the pretty captain with the vines. That's so clever to link them from so early on in the anime to this now. I adore that. I seriously, legit cannot tell you how much I love stuff like that. If this arc concentrates on world building for the first time in ages, I'll lose my mind. I want to know all about this kind of thing, and even this brief view and explanation seriously wetted the old metaphorical whistle, you feel me?
隣接しているダイヤモンドだけでなく、間にゴーマ地帯が挟まったスペード王国も勢力を伸ばしている。この国を守る魔法騎士団はかつてないほど疲弊している。
それどころか転生で一時でも敵に回っちまったやつもいる。そいつらの立場はやべえんじゃねえの。旦那もこんな状態だし。
All of this? How can I not praise that? Putting all of this recent stuff into focus and linking it into the coming story in a way which makes beautiful sense. The exhausted soldiers, the unease amongst those now awoken, and how mistrust will be a factor, and of course the Wizard King's appearance and lack of magic. That's fantastic, because of course this would lead their more aggressive neighbours to maybe make moves against them now.
得体の知れぬ悪魔の力を使う下民の君は全ての罪をかぶせるにはうってつけだからね。
And now this, making sense why he mentioned Asta's life being at stake. Absolutely fantastic, like I said before. I cannot praise this enough, as it links in so well to past events. I won't bang on and on about it, but I'm a huge fan of when a story start is so incredibly well thought out by the creator that later events make perfect sense. Another great example is Attack on Titan, where it feels like the mangaka just had the entire story plotted out from day one, and now Black Clover is legit blowing me away with how much this has come full circle in so many of its facets since day one. In fact, I'm so impressed by this, I'm giving 2 maximum wins right here. This guy still being in it and likely being issued with a larger role given what just transpired right here. I just hope it doesn't end bad, as I do like the guy, but he has his moments, you know what I mean?
Augustus Kira, その命頂戴する。
Emergency out of nowhere plot twist I didn't see coming a friggin' mile off! Fix on your bayonets!
魔法が小さく。
国の城の危機に乗じて王家にあだなす藩を
Who the hell is this guy? Also, yet another unique magicka da!
王家の正義のもとに必ず断罪してやる悪魔つきめ。
Oh, it's getting so good! New characters, new political movements and motivations! Ugh!
数日後、エルフの襲来で破壊された王都はフエゴレオンやノゼルの指揮のもと復旧作業が着々と進み、そしてアスタたちも
Taking the time to address how the knights were all involved in rescuing, rebuilding and supporting the people during this difficult time. Once more, I feel like many would have simply skipped this and the city is back to normal.
やはりあの小僧はろくなものではなかったな。
そうなんですよ。
Damn! Exactly what I was worried about! Him being a douche after all! Damn! And man, this part moved forward quick! I'm quite surprised, but let's see what happens. Hype!
悪魔がいないならば順番に全員さばいていくしかなくなるな。連れてこい。
This just gets worse and worse, and I think it's aiming at making Asta accept the blame for everything and be the scapegoat that Julius was expecting they'd create, or face everyone else get punished for something they themselves are innocent of. As horrible as that is, it's also really inventive and creative and deserves some love.
やめろ!
Asta being freaking awesome! Still such a huge fan of how Black Clover brings back much older characters from time to time. I mean, these 3 are from like the 3rd arc in the anime? Maybe around episode 20 to 30 or something? That's so awesome! It's nearly been 100 episodes since then. His reaction is both hilarious and concerning in equal measure. I don't know how to react, but I'm going with a light chuckle. Unique overhead view of the city that we haven't seen before. Actually taking the time to put proper writing on this paper. Very few anime ever do much more than a few scribbles. Dedication! Putting these guys and gal back into the story, showing how they're now prisoners, which makes logical sense after everything that happened, and being forced to help repair the city. This little bit of information putting Asta in his difficult situation under an even greater strain, as his actions will now likely affect all of the Black Bulls. Okay, credit where it's due, he may not be that bad. Beat and switch, you fooled me!
関わる者すべてに災いを振りまく。貴様は悪だ。
So genuinely hard to hear this nonsense about Asta, someone who always goes above and beyond for everyone else, protecting the weak, defying injustice, and now being labelled as evil merely because of his looks when he changes form. What a brilliant course alteration in the anime though.
裁判はあさってって聞いてたけど、その小僧が悪だろうがなんだろうが知ったこっちゃねえよ。返してもらうぜ。アスター!
No word of a lie, genuinely teared up watching that, seeing them risk their lives to save one of their own, their precious friend and ally, someone they know has nothing but goodness in their heart, and someone they can't give up. I love the idea that after he was taken to the building that Yami likely gathered everyone super quick with the understanding that they were going to bust him out. That was amazing.
そこの角生えてる二人はうちの団員だ。手出そうってんなら。 ならず者でも反逆者でも上等だよバケロが
Yami is good. Also accepting Nero, who didn't anticipate that happening. That was so good, man.
これから私たちと一緒に人生楽しみましょう。
Vanessa being in this anime is, as always, and will always be a win no matter what.
勝手にうちに居座っておいて今さら何言ってやがる。俺たちのことずっと見てたくせに分かってねえな。 お前の気は一緒だし、うちはすでにいろんな変なのが混ざり合ってる。
Nero's official induction into the Black Bulls and how well it was handled all around.
そう、いろんな色で真っ黒けっけだからな。それが俺たち黒の防御だ。
Ah, such a great line right there.
天秤魔法スケールレギュレート。
Jokes aside, from the previous Oda moment, his magic really is powerful and unique. I don't think he can take on Yami, that's my gut feeling, but he's certainly no pushover with wide-ranging magic like that.
熱魔の剣因果解放
That's so awesome and unexpected! So now he can erase magic without even having to make physical contact with it?
もらったぜ
This is getting stupidly intense, I need to breathe!
有能な騎士団員を失うわけにはいかんからな。
お前を認めている人間は身分や階級に関係なく存在するということだ。
These two coming into action to ensure things didn't get worse, showing their support for their fellow knights, and at the same time how far Nozel has come since the very start, putting his own family name on the line to support those he knows that are in the right, and I honestly expect nothing less from Fagolian, just a great man from the start.
魔法騎士団黒の防御に悪魔の調査探索の任務を与える。
王権の強いこの場で説得力を持たすためにノゼルとフエゴレオン王族の団長2人に任務を託したのか。
The Wizard King being crafty and smart once again, publicly issuing an order to the Black Bulls that not only sees them safe here and now, but also gives a chance to gain an understanding of the full truth behind these devils and clear their name for the morons in this building.
だが王国に利がなければすぐにでも処刑されるものと心得る。貴様はまだ計りの上だ。
Nice family trait, being incredibly petty and vindictive as he makes this pointless and cruel statement before leaving. I feel like this is a sweet moment as we see the smile on Yami's face, like he's proud of not only what he's just accomplished with them, but also that they're all together as a big band of misfits and happy in this moment. Take a final win for this episode as we see a not-so-veiled threat against the Wizard King should things not pan out as he intends and the country fails, and then Mark's finding out he's still alive in their little touching moment. Together both events easily equals a win. Okay, there was a picture in the paper of Noelle and her cousin. I'm not showing it because YouTube, but yeah, it earns a win. I love how they used the same start, I think, to the previous OP, but this time instead of it remaining dark and gloomy, it brightens up, much like how her life has improved since the previous part, and is now much lighter as she is welcomed into the Black Bulls. Overall, same song, which is legit still awesome to listen to, but visually just so much nicer and brighter now, showing happy times are coming, while also mixing in the looming threat of the devils they're coming to investigate and tickling my taste buds with new characters.
防御の仲間か王子 本当にいろいろありましたね。
So obviously, as you all know, episodes 123 and 124 are recap episodes, but for now I'll concentrate on this one. It gets a win. I enjoyed seeing the story being mulled over by the thoughts of Sekre, how it reminds us that she's been through a lot in her life, and I'm sure there'll be more on that in the following episode. We also get a good understanding of the distance that they're travelling to get to where they're going over a huge desert type area, which added to the world building in my mind. Finally, we get a scene from the first episode, but perhaps more fleshed out if memory serves me correctly, and a nice view of their village from a distance, which is always good in my eyes. Naturally, a single win here as well, as is common with recap episodes. Once again, it paid to see it from her view. We got a slightly better understanding of what she went through, awaiting someone like Asta to come along, and for the rise of the elves and the resurrection of the first Wizard King. Really, it's amazing that she didn't go utterly insane over the years, trapped as she was. 2 recap episodes that needed to happen at the time due to the anime catching up very close to the manga, and now it looks like we're heading back into a proper story from the next episode, so let's go!
クローバー王国魔法が全てのこの国で唯一魔法が使えない少年がいた
Amazing new start to the episode that's now all about our boy Asta, loving the worldview as well, which does seem to be quite the predominant change to this new arc, whereby it's now focusing way more than ever before on the wider world, showing off countries and what's inside of them, and of course the wider continent and its countries. Great new start!
もうすぐ着くよ。
Ooh, color me deeply intrigued.
アジトの形忘れちゃった。こりゃ傑作だ。
The next few minutes just serve to remind me of the good old days where everyone is together and chilling out, something that now hasn't happened in such a long time since the previous arc was so incredibly huge, and as if that wasn't enough, there was barely any gap at all between that arc and the prior one. I've spoken about it a great many times, but essentially I've always enjoyed moments like this, where there is a wind down period, and everyone can once again be themselves and have fun conversations and such.
なんすかこれ昆虫採集で時間潰しとか
Farmer Asta?
ならネロ後輩同士チーム組んで探しに行こうぜ。
仕方ないわね。
There's often moments like this where another girl gets close to Asta, and as is equally as often the case with me, I'm not hating it one little bit.
エルフになったお前とやった時とてつもなく強くなっちまったこと。
マナが呼んでるぜ。差しでやるのは久しぶりだ。
It's seriously so damn weird to hear them using their actual voices. Like, is that even the same person voicing them? That was amazing. But on top of that, goodness me, this demonstration of their increases in power is nuts. They've both come incredibly far. In fact, they all have. Take another separate win here for something which joins into the previous win, and which I feel deserves another shout out from me here since I've been away for quite some time working on other projects. Black Clover does a brilliant job of increasing the powers and abilities of its characters. That being said, it's obviously the story creator, but the point stands. New magic, new power, new moves, it's always improving, and that's worthy of praise, when so many others remain stagnant for huge periods of time, or in some cases, forever.
行くぞお前ら。何やってんだ。
For some unknown reason, their friendship or relationship, which developed in this way just before he was taken over by the soul of an elf in the previous arc, always makes me laugh with how clingy they are to him. Just makes for some fantastic funny moments in my mind. It's brilliant to me that instead of there being some false amount of sudden danger regarding these escaped beasts, it amounts to these idiots essentially taking themselves out of commission in one way or another, and that's the only way that they're actually getting beaten.
入ってます。入ってんだよ。入ってるっつってんだろ。
His reaction, oh, it's so good how he progressively gets more and more annoyed, and that's resembled on his face stupidly well. Like he's such a good voice actor. I love the dude.
お前らの唾くせんだからよ。
Being nice to magical beasts is always a win.
貴族が道楽で魔獣狩りってところか。まあ俺も親とは生き別れだ。お互いたくましく生きてこうぜ。たく仕方ねえな。
Oh, well, that's incredibly sad, and they added a backstory about the royals having hunted their parents. God, I hate stuff like that in real life. Always makes me very sad, and it's super nice to see Yami having had the heart at the time to take them in. Lovely little pupsters. Probably as good a time as any, really, to say, if you're watching this and you love my work and you'd like to support it, anything you give essentially goes to looking after my 2 dogs and my wife and I. It's very irritating to me recently seeing certain massive YouTubers with millions of subs still promoting their Patreon pages, even though I know full well that they're making, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars per month through ad revenue and sponsorships. So it bugs me. But yeah, I'm not after fancy holidays or expensive watches. I pay for my dog's medical bills, as Titan, my 8-year-old lab, has had epilepsy since he was 2, and Thor, my 3-year-old lab, has numerous issues, most notably bad allergies, which costs a lot in monthly tablets. Long story short, there's never any pressure. But if you do want to support me, just know it's not ever being wasted and is immensely appreciated. Link in the description if you're interested, plus I give loads of rewards back to everyone too.
いい話じゃないっすか。聞けてよかったっす。子供の魔獣可愛すぎっす。
小僧のことは餌だと思ってるみてえだな。
あ、腹が減ってるんだな。ふれふれ餌ですよ。
Even with food still in his hands. Whoa, wasn't expecting that, but I also don't hate it, and even though it didn't last long, it was nice to see everyone's requests put into action like this, especially the Magical Beasts one.
俺、黒の防牛に入れて、みんなと仲間になれて、本当に良かったっす。
私たちだって
どんな時も諦めないアスタ君がいたから成長できたんだ。早くアスタ君の無実を証明しないとね。
Out of bloody nowhere, it gets me super emotional like this, damn it. I swear it's that music and then how it's always mixed with an emotional statement, and just suddenly getting this from Asta surprised me. It was a nice end to this part of the story finally, as we now move on to the next arc properly following these 3 filler episodes, and yeah, everything was rounded out nicely by that statement from Asta, I think.
エルフに体を奪われ、皆を守れず、不甲斐ない誕生だった。
Adore seeing 2 of my waifus and not yours in the same room. It's so nice for me, and yet at the same time must be so difficult for you. Bless your little hearts. Couldn't hold it together. Oh, I love making that joke. This is going to sound so weird, right? But I loved this moment so much. It made me laugh genuinely so hard that for the first time in forever, I'm giving out a maximum 2 wins award for a comedic moment. That was utterly perfect in terms of timing and spot on delivery from the voice actress. Dear Lord, that was funny.
なんだ
For real though, who the hell even came up with this entire scene? Come on, man! Genuinely good CGI. Also though, a nice scene going over her past and her feelings towards Yami and why she has them in the first place, in what was quite the sweet scene as she comes to accept these emotions.
私は闇のことが好きなのだ
For an anime which doesn't change much in terms of overall character development, meaning Magna likes being a manly man, Luck likes to fight, the sister lover, hot alcoholic and so on and so forth, it's genuinely great to see her character change in such a profound way such as this. Not gonna lie. All of their reactions, including most of them having their own boyfriends and having kept it secret all of this time, which is also a nice touch, since it shows that they're real people, as it were, not flawless beings honouring their code to a weird standard. Like, you gotta have a life, you know what I mean? That's realistic.
違いますよ、闇団長。苦手なんじゃないと思い。バラ団長のこの感じ、ノエルに似てるんすよね。嫌いなんじゃなくて、信頼してるんすよ、多分。
Whoa! Black Clover over here, just pulling out some proper character development out of nowhere as Asta reveals that he's not completely unaware of Noel's feelings towards him. Albeit he thinks it's more about trust right now and not love, but still, good on them for not continuously having him be awkwardly unaware that anything has changed between them.
それで話とは。
ああ、実はな。
ドキドキ。
They can create some really lovely scenes from time to time. Just makes me appreciate how stunning looking parts of this world can be, such as this city at night.
あの天秤から裁判議長様は小僧を死刑にしたくてたまんねえみたいだからな。 一応団長として何か手がかりをつかまねえとな。
Might sound weird, but I genuinely love hearing Yami talk about Asta in this way. Although he almost never does it to his face, it's just good to hear how he's got his back, you know?
そうか。
あまり役に立たなかったようだな。
Oh, that's really nice, take a win!
親友たくさん嬉しいな。
As creepy looking as that was right there, it makes perfect sense now to focus in on him given this magic type, and I'm ashamed that I never thought about it once the entire video.
なんか渡月城が言ってたけど、そういやお前んち呪詛魔法の名門だよね。
Finally, at long last, we're gonna get to learn more about Gordon. I mean, I'm not being funny, we only really saw him fight for the first time during the last arc. It's insane how little we do know about the guy, and I'm on board to find out more. Choo choo!
僕はそんなの嫌だった。誰かを呪うより仲良くしたかった。だから家出同然であの家を出たんだ。
そうだったんすか。
Oh man, I knew he was a good lad. I've been saying it for so long now. I legit forget how many times I've praised this lad for being who he is, and now we find out the reason he ran away and joined the Black Bulls.
つうか俺たちも呪われたりしねえだろうな。
知らない人に呪われるの恥ずかしい。
呪われるのはいいのか。
帰りたい。
Awesome, and more awesome. World building to a great degree as we see this far off place that Gordon used to call home in a very creepy area. The more I find out about this world, the more it builds in my mind and thus means more to me as it also increases my entertainment factor. Just in case you were ever curious why I enjoy good world building as much as I do. I mean, creepy! That was not a very good Demon Slayer joke. Very rare art style change. Hats off to them. They really didn't have to go the extra mile and animate the dog running off after the sister. No word of a lie, some actually creepy stuff in there after all. Didn't expect that. Take a proper shock to me related win of surprised shock.
36度5分平熱か。体のどこにも異常は見られない。どうだい？人体を害する毒薬の知識と我が家に伝わる呪殺の知識を健康管理や治療に転化したんだ。
Take a win here, not only for a plot twist, but a double plot twist. You gonna twisted the plot into a pretzel right there.
お前を宿した時、すでに母上には逃れられぬ死が迫っていた。それは怪我や病気の類ではない。
This lady still being in the anime and them suddenly adding a pinch of mystery to the dish that is this episode as Noelle's mother's death is brought back into focus and my, it's tasting good! Her mother.
もしそれでも真実と向き合う覚悟があるのなら、サンゴのクジャク団団長のドロシー・アンズワースに会いに行くがいい。
Man, this got me so excited. It's suddenly like I'm playing an RPG and your boy just got a new main quest. It's so good how the story develops in Black Clover. It's always interesting.
いつもはここに悪い人を捕まえてお仕置きしたり、今日みたいに建物や傷ついた人々を運び込んだりしてるんだよ。
I know I gave this a unique Magica-der related win during part 8, but take another one here for just how unique this magic really is. Like, how amazing is it to think up the idea of her being able to transport the destroyed buildings into that dream world? It's fantastic!
あなたたちのお母さん、アシエシルバはとある悪魔の呪いによって命を落とした。あなたたちのお母さんの受けた呪いはそういう類のものだった。
This whole curse business has blown my mind in how it's opened up the world and its possibilities, and most of all how it's affected characters' backstories, mainly Noelle's obviously. I feel like again though, you could probably go back and pick up on several hints to this earlier on, showing it wasn't just pulled out of nowhere as the next big story of the next big arc.
炎は呪い、その燃える勢いは根深さ。これはこの国を蝕む病の地図だ。
あの炎勢いすごいです。
Brilliant. Utterly brilliant how they complete such a massive arc with such massive stakes, but by making the main enemy a devil that had planned its release and domination of the world before being bested, it's now continued that story rather than starting with something completely new. I'm so impressed by that.
とんでもなく大きな炎。
もしかしたらここに悪魔の手がかりが。
That right there deserves another unique magic at the moment, and once more, so very impressed by the storytelling.
ハート王国に入る方法ねえわ。ハート王国って国境に独自のトラップ魔法を敷いてやがって、引っかかれば即お尋ね者だわ。国際問題になりかねねえ。
Thinking outside of the box and taking this mission seriously, not simply saying, oh, we're headed to their kingdom and nothing happens along the way. Instead, we talk about borders, border defences, and the risk and punishment of potentially getting caught crossing. Dedication!
を殺めようとした。父さんもさぞ僕に失望しているでしょうね。何言ってんだよ。全部エルフに体を乗っ取られたせいなんだ。
Not moving on from all that had happened previously and spending time and effort to round out several of these stories and how it affected the numerous characters involved. Yet more dedication!
俺は今から努力して父さんに認めさせる。ボード家の当主にふさわしい男になる。俺がフィーネスさんを幸せにする。
Oh man, I'm so proud of my boy Fenrir being a true mad lad right here, finally owning up to his promise in this world, now that he has confidence brought about by his trials and tribulations, many battles and near-death experiences, and of course by his amazing friends.
お前は呪われている。女性と見りゃ速攻で口説く女たらし。逃げ続けチャラついた時間がダメだったあなたをさらにダメにした。
His brother also showing character growth here with this massive bait and switch from what was expected to what we got from him, and above all, he's actually right about Finral, and his statement might end up changing who he is as a character at his core.
国の中のことを全て見通している全知の魔導士とも言われています。
何すげえ。
This just feeling to me like such a big step in the right direction for the manga and anime at large, with the mangaka always taking risks with the story, but fleshing it out so amazingly well, and this goodbye here between them all just feels like we're departing on an epic journey ourselves to me. This food literally appearing oh my to me equals a win. It's 2 AM as I write this and now I'm hungry. Thanks a bunch, Black Clover!
感謝しなさい。
何に。いつかもうちょっとで。
I'm not sure why, but this stuff always entertains me.
美少女2人が間近で寝てると思うと全く熟睡できなかった。しかしハート王国の女王様ってどんなお人だ。そう美人なのか。
あれがハート王国。
Our first look at the Hut Kingdom and another country, properly anyways.
そのままお進みください。
あなたは。
ようこそハート王国へ。
A new character at long last. This is going to be so great. So many new characters from the OP being revealed. I'm so hyped!
水と木々の力を借りて招かれざる者入れぬマナ深き国として魔法文明を発展させてきたのです。
Scenery shot of this gorgeous new nature-filled location from above.
これから先は分かりませんから。
Emergency plot twist! Take cover!
空間魔法打天使の羽ばたき。
Okay, 2 wins right here. Firstly, for them all not hesitating even 1 iota and leaping into action to follow and save Asta. That was awesome, just no delay at all. Second win is for Finral and how incredibly efficient he's become at using his magic. That was just inspiring to see him perform so confidently and proficiently.
面白い魔法を使いますね。
Ah, I didn't expect this at all! He's so fast! Oh no!
リーダル水調整魔法海流の巣。
She is so fucking cool! Get out of it!
クローバー王国王族の私の仲間に手を出してただで済むと思ってるのかしら。
我らがノエルちゃんかっこきでかわいいぜ。
天ジオリ
早いけどバルキリードレスなら買わせる。
ア。さすが第一域。
Oh, this is truly so good and so unexpected by me. I really thought it would ease into things, but here we are smack bam in the middle of a breathless battle. Noelle is so impressive and Finral is so creative and it's a joy to witness.
私の魔法にあなたに当たるまで追いかけるよう言いつけました。
術式を空に。
自然の莫大なマナに人間はかなわない。
Also, take another one here for yet more creative opening up of the world's magic with their new type demonstrated by him, which seems to be built over 9 stages, with Noel being a lower stage and him the lowest, with that being the strongest. Basically, any expansion upon magic is welcome by me. I do not dislike that!
信頼魔法イリアル・アストラウザ。
Two wins here again. Firstly is for the animation and CGI mixed together beautifully in that immensely powerful attack. The second win is for how they showed the animals being protected from the blast. Like, that's clever, as it feeds into what they spoke about in terms of respecting nature and so on. Otherwise, this attack would be quite hypocritical.
植物創生魔法マカの道しるべ。
空間魔法打天使の抜け穴。
水創生魔法海流の方向。空間魔法逆時。
アンチ魔力をセーブ。金貨ということは空気もあるはず。
The final 60 seconds of episode 128 gets the anime 2 massive fat wins. Firstly, it was amazing to witness the teamwork from these three and Finral essentially being the star of the battle by just flawlessly using his magic together with Mimosa's map, and then Noel instigating a brute force royal magic attack. Then, as if that wasn't good enough already, as soon as Asta is freed by Sakurai, there's some stunning animation as he launches his own attack on what would look to be the Queen's hideout. My! Okay, so as you all well know, I almost never do this, only once before now I believe, but I'm issuing out a maximum 2 wins here for this OP, and the reason why is basically because the entire thing was a beautiful, smooth as hell animation. That was it. Just one scene after the next. Like, how can I not praise just how much of that they stuck into the OP? I'm blown away. It must have been 80 to 90% just lovely animation and 10 to 20% stills. The song is great too. I was quite literally, and I do mean the real meaning of the word literally, nodding my head along to the song the entire time. Utterly brilliant.
まったくもう何やってるのロロペチカ。早くパジャマから着替えとくように言ったじゃない。
この人がハート王国女王。
早すぎる。
魔導海域を調べるために勝手な戦いを強いてしまって。
Unexpected plot twist!
それ、私が悪魔に呪われているんです。このままだとあと1年くらいで死んでしまいます。クローバー王国の皆さん、私たちと。
どうした？
ポプラタッタの木に水をあげるの忘れてた。
ズコー！
ほら、お水だよ。
My goodness, her magic is seriously impressive and she seems so lovely and kind to nature. She's my kind of girl.
いい加減ちゃんとした格好に着替えて。今の女王は。
Also, I was so impressed and shocked by everything occurring during the last episode that I totally forgot to drop a win for this spirit. They're super interesting, and now I think we've seen 3 of them.
悪魔の呪いなんかで決して失われてはいけない。唯一無二の存在よ。
かわいい。
メギキュラはあの国にいる。
Placing the enemy devil who cursed their queen within the other kingdom is such a stroke of genius, I swear to God, because that means at some point we will likely get to witness what that country is like, and if we're lucky, maybe even come across some characters from the past parts. Truly epic world building like never before, as I said in the previous win.
あの数のダイヤモンド兵をたった一人で。
Then a super powerful dude comes into play in that kingdom that even Luck is afraid to fight. This is getting stupidly good. I'm enjoying this new arc so much, and to think that that was possible after the perfection of the previous arc is bewildering to me. Normally this wouldn't get a win, but I just realised that twice now that it's happened, they replied with, "Wait, why?" And I find that almost more funny than the fall itself. This entire explanation of the devil's power compared to humans, how people from Asta's kingdom have developed advanced and non-natural magic over the years, but lost part of nature due to that as a trade-off of sorts, and then learning about a category above stage 0 that Julius, Yami, Asta and Sekre fall into, that being the arcane stage. Just a wonderful and simple explanation. Then going on to learn about how this new devil in the Spade Kingdom is even more powerful than the one that they fought, as Asta rightly worries and thinks about how they only won that battle due to the strength of so many others, such as the first Wizard King and so on. This is getting better and better by the minute, and I'm here for all of it.
Clover 王国やハート王国、ダイヤモンド王国を攻め落とすために、私の力が弱まる前にこちらからスペード王国を攻めたい。
As if I wasn't already so hyped, now the Queen is talking about invading the Spade Kingdom. I'm guessing by design to rid the world of this powerful devil that seeks to invade their nations, but still, I'm shocked. Like for real, very much unexpected. This may be the greatest arc yet. I'm just insanely intrigued as to how they're going to deal with this power-up mission, as it were, where they need to get much stronger in 6 months.
分かっちゃるだろうが他言無用な。で、その悪魔について何か分かってることはあるのか？
Again, just a logical and nice touch. If everyone blabbed about it, the king, nobility, or someone else could try to seize power in some way. They didn't have to say it, but I'm so glad they did.
気合い入れろやラック。ノエコーが諦めねえって言ってんだ。先輩の俺らがビビってる場合じゃねえだろ。
仲間の命だってかかってるのに怖がってる場合じゃないよね。
You know, it's strange. I mentioned before about how core personalities haven't really changed much, and how I was okay with that. But thinking about it now, during this arc, they're doing a lot of changing, and I'm really pleased with that. So far, we've seen the prickly queen accept her feelings for Yami and speak about it publicly. We've seen Asta acknowledge that there are at least some feelings coming from Noelle towards him. We've seen Nozel open up more to Noelle, Finral try to swear off women for the one he loves, and now Luck drops the I wanna fight act and is truly scared by an opponent. That's excellent.
いつもは今ここでって言ってんだ。半年もありゃ余裕だよな。限界を超えろ！
He said the thing!
諦めることも悪いことじゃないって。
Man, what a gorgeous ED that was! Ah, that kind of got me half emotional and I don't even know why. Probably the song and the lovely visuals. I can't really explain that for the first time in a long time, and I like to think I'm well spoken. Just take a win, really. That's something in the gut, I think.
あの顔は恋だな。俺にはわかる。
お姉さんどこへ行ってしまったんだろう。
Oh, plot twist that Rill is now in love with Charmy. Love triangle time, maybe, but probably not.
大丈夫大丈夫。ただ立っててくれればいいから。はい。これで顔を隠して。
I'm going to throw out a quick win here for the fact that the original voice actor, a favourite of mine, is still voicing this now younger character with a much softer voice. Not even skipping a beat. He's brilliant.
大船に乗ったつもりでいるがよい。
What?
世の晴れ舞台の邪魔をしやって。
国王、ここは国民の皆に寛容なところを。
It's great to see William step in fully after giving his undying loyalty once more to Julius by now being the voice of reason that guides this annoying king.
失礼します。
てめえ。またうちの第二イチャモンつけようってなら俺が相手に。
Yami
being yummy right here. This brief but full debriefing of the current situation that not only their country but the continent pretty much finds itself in, with a state of war already having been sparked as one country invades another, and as yet another war is set to begin in 6 brief months. The Wizard King still proving his worth and experience in his position by putting down the notion that multiple captains stepped down after their role in the destruction of the city. Just like before, it's a nice touch to see them not simply forgetting and moving on, but showing how many of them still feel guilt over what happened. It's a realistic notion that I feel most other similar anime would have brushed aside.
ゲルドル君はこの間影の王宮でね、 かつて先輩だった元魔法騎士のレブチ君と一緒にゲルドル君には恩赦を与えようと思う。ゲルドル君には詳細があるからね。きっと持ち出したお宝を元手にお宝の価値以上の利益を生み出してくれるだろう。
Okay, for real? And hear me when I say this, who thinks of this? Now we're witnessing an older traitor from ages ago being brought back into it once again in a very real way, first by escaping his prison and wandering nearby to the fight against the elves and devil in the last arc, and now by using him to make money for the kingdom for repairs and such. I'm shocked by the level of thought that's gone into this.
やれやれ。
俺の勝ちだ。
給料3倍になったぜ。
君たちには感謝しているよ。あんなことがあったのにこれまで通り変わらずに接してくれて。約束しよう。悪魔に対抗するためできるだけのことはすると。
Ah, that was such a sweet moment from William. He's such a good lad after all, bless his heart, and he's dedicated to defeating the devil and saving them all. This whole Asta and Noel on the broom was Sekre/Nero related scene of cuteness.
神父のおっちゃん。ただいま。
おお、アスタ、ユノ、大きくなったな。
Ah, bless his heart, what a man he is. He's such a great father figure to these lads.
それよりアスタ、お前のことが新聞に。
そうだ、それなんだけど。あの新聞記事は間違いです。アスタは悪魔の手先なんかじゃない。むしろ悪魔を倒そうとしてる。それは信じてください。
当たり前だ。ハージ村の者は誰もあんな記事なんて信じてない。みんな誇りに思っている。大事に飾っておる。やめて。後でサインしてくれんか。
やだよ。
Stupid Black Clover legit making me emotional right there. Yuno stepping in to support him and their father never giving it any thought to being true. Ugh. Plus that nice little bit of comedy about having it be framed and asking him to sign it.
やっとこの村に学校ができて、シスターリリーも先生として子供たちを教えてくれている。
わあ、さすがシスター。
Okay, them building a school there at long last and actually changing the village in some way got me feeling some real Tenshura vibes, and that's a win. Sekre still lamenting the passing of her friend and honouring him is yet another nice touch in a part simply filled with so many nice touches already.
シスター。Asta being Asta by immediately proposing to her and of course Noel managing to misinterpret it.
あなたの姿から子供たちは何かをきっと学ぶわ。
なるほど。
なんで私が赤ちゃんなんて。私は王族よ。ああ、ノエルちゃん。
よしよし。
Also, like, is it me or has Yuno had a proper growth spurt? I love it when anime take time passing into consideration and age their characters. Some great examples of late have been My Hero Academia, and Attack on Titan did it brilliantly. Plus this whole baby and Yuno being the mother thing that we never see but we hear. Oh god, what's that all about?
あの時は本当にすまないことをした。俺たち二人の活躍に感動し、生まれ変わるつもりで。
I'm shocked how the anime can juggle so many characters and still bring them back into focus from time to time, even these from over 120 episodes ago.
298、299、300。ここで魔力増強に良いと言われ。
This young lad admiring Asta and following in his footsteps that he walked in 130 episodes ago is very poetic. A lovely end to this actually great filler episode, especially the very end, seeing Yuno and Asta reaffirm their competitive side and their friendship, performing an action they did so very long ago at the start of their long journey together, and what a ride it's been so far.
やっぱりあなたはメレオレオナ団長。
The fact that she's still in this anime.
先の戦いで我々3人はエルフに体を乗っ取られてしまった。仲間であるあなたたちにも刃を向けてしまい本当にすまなかった。
Black Clover, I'm convinced now, doesn't even have a rug in its entire house, top to bottom, because they absolutely refuse to sweep anything under them. They just keep on addressing it time and again like a bunch of true pros. Just the biggest of props to them.
誇り高き魔法騎士としてこの王国を守り、
Also though, these two brothers making an appearance is always a win too. I like them, they're awesome, so glad the older brother is back too. He's a win machine like his sister. How do you keep on doing this? Thinking outside of the box, covering potential plot holes, avoiding microwaving characters' magic. How do you think other anime would have approached this? That's right, the majority would have seen Luck and Magna pick it up insanely fast. But we know that's basically cheating, so here they use a magical item to aid them and give them a much needed boost. I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything I just said at the start of this win. It's so rare. Noelle getting annoyed by their yelling is one thing, but them actually showing it after she addressed it gets the win. Noelle is getting weird and I'm along for the ride because she's now another character going through a bit of a change, since she's now also being more honest with herself about her feelings, whereas before it was nothing but denial. Well, that's creepily designed. Even though she does things her own way, she's spot on here about real-world teaching efforts, especially against the foe they'll soon be facing, and it's that realistic approach that I appreciate from her. I must admit, I totally forgot about dungeons in this anime since the last one was so long ago, but how cool is it to find one in this of all places? And I wonder what's inside of it, especially given the revelation about the spider kind of being man-made to a degree.
ああ、ごめんごめん。でもどんな魔道具が眠っているかワクワクするね。
ランドール副団長、先を急ぐぞ。ああ。フエゴレオン団長とメレオレオナ様が黒の防御を特訓に呼んだのはそういうわけか。
Definitely good to see more of this vice captain and how his magic works, since he returned from having his body taken over, because now he's getting some personality given to his character, which is important given that he is after all the second highest rank in that squad.
ちも外れだ。妙な宝箱はいっぱい見つけたけどね。
はいこれ。
Just in case I'm gonna avoid showing it, but ew! Luck brought back a chest with little human legs under it, and inside was organs. What the actual hell? That's the darkest thing I've seen in this anime ever!
あの時と同じだ。俺は何のために鍛錬を重ねてきた。
Now they're advancing Leo within the anime, which I'm guessing is because he'll play an important role later in the arc, but overall just cannot believe the insane effort to progress so many plots and characters like this. Art style change and some gorgeous looking flame animation from Leo who surpasses his limits.
先の戦いでのあの姿。 鋼鉄の戦機と呼ばれたアシエドの思い起こさせた。だがまだまだそんなものではない。
These two having a moment like this once more, but now Noelle is far stronger than before.
すごかったっすよ。あの時のばあちゃんは。
Even though it's another filler episode, one of the last now, I can still appreciate the fact that she used fire magic all the way back then and was in fact their teacher whom both also use fire. That's a nice link.
ばあちゃんもすげえけど、二人とも子供の頃からすごかったんですね。
んなことはないよ。フエボーなんて魔力のコントロールができなく、生まれつきの魔力が大きいと子供の頃はそうなりがちでね。でも成長に従って遅かれ早かれ。
This scene and how it affected Noelle learning that two supremely powerful people also started off being unable to control their magic just like she was. It's like she's learning from that to propel herself forwards just like she did when told that her mother would have dived right in for a party trick and then she decided to do it right away herself. She's clearly very much influenced by this family and the link to her mother, and it's good to see it driving her character development further. All of these siblings battles out of nowhere and then the old lady putting a stop to it all at once in impressive fashion. Also credit to them for not lowering the quality of the animation during a filler episode. That's cool.
さかアスタから合コンのお誘いが来るなんてどんな風の吹き回し。まあでもこれってチャンスよね。
Getting to see Rebecca again, and it's hard to remember accurately, but I believe they held a similar mixer about 100 odd episodes ago too.
かわいいじゃない。こんなに可愛いネロ。
Secre/Nero, and please let me know which name you prefer down below moving forwards, and Noelle in maid costumes.
機密事項だから詳しくは言えないんだけど、ふっはけ、あの事件を解決したのって俺なんだよね。
Having these guys also be having a mixer at the same time and Noelle reacting pretty much the same way is still as funny as it was 100 something episodes ago.
何してんすか。次はフィンラル先輩が自己紹介する番っすよ。
ああ、俺今日は飯食いに来ただけなんだ。そういうの俺やってないんで。
そういうのって何？
うわ、つらい。
Finral torturing himself by having to act the exact opposite to how he normally is.
お待ちど。青の野原の団長、それに暴牛の団長。
Oh yeah, baby, plot twist of the highest degree, but of the least importance overall. We got ourselves an upstairs mixer at the same time. Although, with all of these light-hearted episodes, I'm starting to think the continuation of the arc is going to be some serious stuff again.
しかしこのドレス肌を出しすぎではないか。
No!
小説に出てくる魔法騎士フィオレールみたい。フィオレールは光と闇と火、風、水、土を操る最強の魔法騎士で。
属性多すぎ。なんだその小説。
That just really got me for some reason. That's a good line. It was what was going through my head too.
団長。
Here we go again.
そんなバイキンに触られたみたいな反応しなくてもさ、傷ついちゃうよ。
Oh my word, it's so hard to see Yami being so dense. It's tough, bruh. A final win here for some solid episodes, and even the filler wasn't bad at all for me personally, plus a nice end to this episode and hype for the coming part, which sees the return of the singing girl and her dancing brother. I totally forgot their names. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I mentioned many times in the video what I'd like, so I'm not going to bang on about it again, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 10 or in whatever video you want to watch next. Nathan Bird, Bird Without a Word, Tyler Warner, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Yona Schau, Manolo Salcedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, The Element Taylor Wars, Manuel Morales, Conito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Keeper, Steelers, Amir Keenan, Sentimento, Jeffer6263, Master Tank, Kevin Nelter, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Gaten Gaza, Matt the Marshmallow, Kaj Borzelman, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Amanda, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Oliver Gable, Kimi O, Adora Blue, Matthew Ditzworth.